Hello and good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. It is now 10:02, so hopefully you got a chance to run and get some of that coffee or make a quick bathroom run before we get started. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. You are in the right place if you are looking for the Missouri Job Center's virtual workshop on how to get found on LinkedIn. Thank you again for joining us. Couple of house cleaning items before we get started today. It's myself and my esteemed colleague, Mr. Frank Alanaze. He's also going to be joining us this morning. And so we're going to do a joint presentation for you. You're going to be with us for about 2 hours today. And what I'll do is I'm going to get started. I'll probably talk for about 50 minutes or so. And then Frank is going to come and deliver his presentation. And then we're going to leave the last few minutes of our presentation to answer your questions. Now, in terms of if you have any questions for us, if you look at the bottom of your screen, you should see about 3 questions. One of those is the Q&A box. So whenever you have a question, go ahead and put it in there. Now, we might not be able to answer that question immediately during the course of the presentation, but like I stated, we're going to get to that at the end, but that's why we want to give you a generous or a liberal amount of time at the end to answer your questions so that we can address those. So go ahead, like I said, and use that Q&A box. Now, you will also note that you are muted as well. That's because what we're trying to do is we want to make certain that we give you a clean presentation without a lot of conversation that's going on. So, of course, you can hear us while we present you with this information. So, again, thank you so much for joining us. And again, this is about getting found on LinkedIn. So, one of the things that we want to talk to you about today, or rather, letting you know a little bit more about who we are. Again, I'm Patrice Broadus. I am a workshop facilitator with the Missouri Job Center, St. Louis County. I'm going to be doing the introduction as well as the closing. And the way we're going to do this, Frank and I are going to kind of do this as a tag team presentation, so to speak. So you'll be hearing from me first, and it's attending our workshop here, our joint workshop. It's almost like attending a heavyweight boxing match, so to speak. So you're here to see Frank. I know he's the heavyweight champion. You're here to see him, but I'm the little lightweight champion that you have to deal with before you get to the heavyweight, okay? So you got to deal with me first. So I'm going to be presenting you with recruiter insights into LinkedIn. That is, what are recruiters saying when they are looking at your LinkedIn page, and what are they looking for when they look at your LinkedIn page? And then Frank is going to follow up with giving you all that good insider stuff that most folks don't know about in terms of the algorithms, etc. Because again, with that, that's letting you know a little bit about how LinkedIn itself works. And when you think about that, think about this. When you are watching TV, when you're watching Netflix, you know how you watch Netflix and then you watch 2 or 3 movies, and then later on, when you turn on Netflix, it's going to give you various suggestions for movies. Guess what? LinkedIn kind of does the same thing through their algorithms. Now, like I said, that's not my forte. I'm going to leave you with Frank to talk about that. But I want to talk to you about what recruiters are doing and where my particular information comes, which is actually interacting and speaking and talking with recruiters here in the St. Louis area. Okay, so with that being said, let's go on ahead and get started, shall we? Now, the first thing I want to do is just kind of talk to you overall about LinkedIn. You know, LinkedIn is big on telling you what they want you to know about them. They give you all these various stats in terms of how many people they connect, how many people are connected on LinkedIn, how many jobs are submitted and posted on LinkedIn during the course of a year, or how many active individuals that they have. And also, they're really good about giving you that big statistic so far as 95% of Fortune 500 companies being on LinkedIn. And it is true in terms of LinkedIn being the largest social media platform for professionals. So in other words, this is an area in which recruiters are looking for professional individuals and professional careers, or filling those openings that they have in professional careers. Now, another thing, however, LinkedIn doesn't tell you is that a lot of these individuals that are on LinkedIn really aren't even in the United States. They're in other areas of the world as well. So don't think that all of these 100 million are just in the United States. That's not the case. Now, one of the things I do want to point out to you, and again, like I told you, what my particular aspect of our presentation this morning is, I'm going to talk about this recruiter aspect, okay, in terms of what is occurring with your recruiters. And you notice here this particular statistic, 90%, 92% of recruiters use LinkedIn daily. And that is true. You've got to remember in terms of what recruiters are doing, what is their particular job, what are they supposed to be doing, and what are they looking out for. So recruiters have to utilize LinkedIn. Now, one of the things I want to also tell you about this aspect regarding LinkedIn is those particular recruiters that are using LinkedIn, they are going to be recruiters for large companies and large corporations, because LinkedIn, understand, how they use LinkedIn is called LinkedIn Recruiter. So the company has to purchase this particular aspect for them. And generally speaking, LinkedIn Recruiter is not cheap. So if you are a recruiter, or a recruiter is looking for you using LinkedIn, then that's a recruiter that's working for a large organization with at least 500 or more employees. Now, here's something else that you need to know about LinkedIn, or rather how recruiters are utilizing LinkedIn. Understand, recruiters are utilizing LinkedIn similarly to the way that they view your resume. Now, what do you mean by that, Pat? This is what I mean. Really and truly, when recruiters are looking at you on LinkedIn, they're only giving you a certain amount of time, just like they do with your resume, giving you about 6 to 30 seconds, because what? They are looking for key pieces of information. And if they don't see it, if it's not there, they're going to move on. So just like they do with your resume, if they don't see the information that they need there, they're going to move on from LinkedIn. I had one recruiter who was telling me, for example, that if I have to spend 3 minutes on your LinkedIn page, I'm never going to get anything done. I'm never going to eat, I'm never going to sleep, and I'm never going to fill all of my positions, because that's too much time that I have to spend. And for example, this particular recruiter was saying that they already had about 55, 56 positions, something like that, to fill. So again, if I'm spending all that time looking at your LinkedIn page, I'm never going to get it done. So I can't waste my time. I have certain tasks that I need to accomplish. So therefore, I'm only going to give you a certain amount of time to make an impression on me. So what they want you to do is this, or what they are looking for is this: your background and experience. Now, I have title in parentheses. I'm going to talk to you about that just a little bit more in detail as we go along. But they're also looking, obviously, at your skills, the type of skills that you bring to the position. Again, like I said, background and experience. Remember, this is your work experience. What are the titles that are associated with your background? And just as in your resume, they're not looking for fluff. They don't want to see just vague or general statements. And what I mean by that is just what a recruiter told me. A lot of people sometimes just put where they work and maybe their title. They might put the year, but that's not telling me anything about what you did in that position. So what we have to do as people who might be utilizing LinkedIn for our job searches is to understand that a recruiter is going to be looking at my LinkedIn page as he or she would look at my resume. So they don't want something which is vague. And unfortunately, a lot of people are vague with their LinkedIn profiles. A recruiter is looking for key bits of information. What did you do? How did you do it? What is the relevance? And again, that is essential key right there. I can't tell you how many times when I was speaking to recruiters, how many times they wanted to make certain that it's relevant. Okay, so how do you want to be found on LinkedIn? If you have, for example, 2 or 3 different areas that you think you can go into, you really need to focus on 2 at the max. One is preferable, but you need to focus no more than on 2 in terms of how you are presenting yourself, because again, the different algorithms in terms of what's going on behind the scenes when a recruiter is putting in information to search for you. So again, relevance to what type of position you want to be found for, and you need to make certain that you keep updating your information on LinkedIn as well. And that doesn't mean that you go in every 2 days and you update, because then you're going to throw off LinkedIn a little bit. And like I said, Frank is going to give you a little bit more information about that. But you need to make certain that if you do have a job change, if you do have a title change, etc., you need to be updating that particular information as well. Okay, because again, if you want to be found, you got to think about what you want to be found for. All right, so let's go on ahead and keep going, shall we? Now, in terms of how recruiters are looking for you, I have the top 3 ways recruiters are searching for you, but that's not really the word, the terminology I really wanted to say. I wanted to say kind of what are the top 3 things, but you know, things doesn't really sound like a great word. But what are the top 3 things, or what are the top 3 things that recruiters are typing in order to search for you? How are they first of all searching for you? This is how they're doing it. They're looking for your title, your location, and keywords. Yes, keywords are essential. And remember, again, we're talking about that which is relevant to how you want to be found. Okay, and I'm going to mention a little bit more about that toward the end of my particular aspect of this presentation. So, and here's something else that you need to be aware of. If you're not within the top 50, I probably won't see you. And I got this verbatim from a recruiter. If you're not in the top 50 within my search, I may not see you. And let me explain what is meant by that. So when recruiters find you on LinkedIn Recruiter, they receive it in increments of 25. So I may go through the first 2 pages. So if within those first 2 pages, I found a good many people that I want to contact, maybe 6 to 8 people, then I'm going to start following up with those particular individuals. And then I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to email them. Then I'm going to reach out and see if we can pursue something further. Now, I'm not going to waste my time if I found my good candidates. Now, if, for instance, we go through that particular process, or I go through that particular process and it's a dud, don't like what we find, etc., then I'm going to go back again. And then therefore I'm going to my next 25, which means I've probably gone through about 3 pages, maybe at the most. So again, if I don't like what I see the first time, then I'm going to go back to that second set, or what I might try to do is change my parameters or change a few things about my settings or the skill set that I am looking for. And again, with that being said, you want to be within that top 50, because again, as a recruiter, understand, I have so much time that I have to allocate to look for this position. So if I find good, strong candidates, like I said, 6, 8, 10, whatever my particular number might be, and I doubt it would go over 10, if I find good, strong candidates within those first 2 to 3 pages, I don't need to look any further. So you want to be within that top echelon in terms of the search. You don't want to be number 320, because guess what? If you're number 320 on their search, more than likely, you are not going to be found. All right. So let's go on ahead and let me show you exactly what I mean. Remember, I was telling you about title and keywords. These are 2 things that I want to focus on here. Now, let's look at the title, shall we? All right. So with that being said, I want you to look at this. Don't confuse your headline with your title, okay? Do not forget, or do not confuse your headline with your title. Now, there's a difference between the 2. Now, when we pull up our home pages, and you know, we put all of our information in, then you have your headline. This is your headline, okay? Your title refers to your job titles. Here, what are your titles? When you have entered your work history, what is your job title? And remember again, this is the first thing. Let's go back here because I want to remind you about that. Remember, that's the first thing that recruiters are going to be looking for. They're looking at your title. So now, I'm as a recruiter, I'm looking for your title. What did you do? Because again, I'm trying to see if it's relevant to the position that I'm searching for now. Now, here's the thing. Sometimes your official title doesn't really match what you're doing. And honestly, titles change from one organization to another. So what might be you might be in customer service, and what might be customer service at one organization may be called a client care specialist at another organization. It might be called a specialist one at another organization. And you've seen that before, specialist 1, 2, 3. What does that mean to me as a recruiter? I don't know. I don't particularly care about that. I just know that I need to find a customer service representative. If that's the case, you want to make certain, obviously, that you are found in customer service. Now, a recruiter did explain to me, look, you don't want to be misleading. You don't want to put something, a title, on your LinkedIn page that you're not, because obviously, if I find you and I talk to you, and then I'm trying to ask you a little bit about your position as a customer service manager, let's say, and you were never a customer service manager, obviously, that's going to leave a bad taste in my mouth. So one of the ways in which you can do this, because again, I'm looking for a certain title. I'm looking, for example, for a customer service representative. So if you are a client care specialist, you still put that in your title because that's what you are. That is your official title at your place of work. But that's that's a customer service position. You can put customer service in parentheses, or if you want to do it vice versa, put your particular given title at your organization in parentheses and then put customer service, because again, I'm looking for a customer service representative or a customer service specialist. I'm not looking for a specialist 1 or 2. I'm not looking for a client care specialist because again, as a recruiter, I don't know what that is. I don't particularly care what that is. I'm looking for someone in customer service. So that's how you're able to make certain that your title is corresponding with that which recruiters are looking for, okay? So I do understand customer service. I don't understand specialist 1, 2, 3. And like I said, you don't want to be misleading, and you want to make certain that your title is relevant. Again, what are you looking for? So if I'm in customer service, but I'm looking now to, let's say, go in biology or something like that, how is that going to work? What is it that I've done within this particular biological field? So that's where you have to start revamping and looking at the key terms, keywords, etc., that are going to allow you to be found as a biologist or a customer service specialist or a moderator, whatever you are looking for or whatever you hope to be found as. Now, you're going to hear me talk about these keywords, and when my co-host Frank delivers his presentation, you're going to hear him also talk about keywords, how you can put this in your heading, how you can put this in your job description, how you can put this in your about section. Because again, you want to make certain that you are putting words in your LinkedIn profile that's going to allow you to move up and hopefully be found by a recruiter. So you're hearing keywords. Where am I going to find these particular keywords, Patrice? You're talking about this. How can I do this? Now, let me show you this. You can start searching for keywords by looking at what is in your industry. What are recruiters posting about said positions in your particular industry? What you see here is an example. I pulled up an example of a ad on Indeed. And obviously I couldn't put it all on here. You can't see it all, but you get a chance to see a portion of it. So on Indeed, I pulled up an ad for a customer service representative. And what you can do is start reading those particular ads and what are some of the key terms that you are seeing over and over again within various ads. Now, if you're saying, I can't remember this, I can't, take a highlighter and go through this, you can also use a word cloud. So you can cut and paste this particular job description and paste it into a word cloud, such as a word cloud program, such as Tag Crowd, which I have here, which allows you to see what are some of the key terms in this particular industry. What are some of the key terms that are in a job description regarding customer service? Now, this is just one, for example. So I may go through a few of these, put these in Tag Crowd, etc., and see what is it that I can find in this particular industry. So in case you're trying to understand a little bit more about that, let me see if I can go ahead and do this for you very, very quickly, just to kind of show you what I am looking at. So if I am doing this, okay, let's do this. All right, so I am going to go on Indeed, and I'm going to try to do this as quickly as I can for you. All right. Okay, here we go, Indeed. And then let's say I'm looking for customer service. It's customer service rep. So I'm going to do that. I'm putting St. Louis because that's where I want to find a particular position. And oh, here I find a customer service representative position. So what does it say it's looking for? Okay, we're looking for this. And what I'm going to do is, oh, let's get this. Come on, scroll. All right, getting a little bit further. All right, qualifications. All right, so I am going to copy this. And I am going to go to, not TGI Fridays. We don't want to do that. Let me just do word cloud. All righty, I'm going to look for different word clouds. Word clouds, word clouds, word clouds. Okay, let me just go ahead and get the particular word cloud that I want. We don't have time to do all of this. Okay. I can go to Wordle, for example. That's a particular word cloud. I don't want to go to Wordle. Let's see. And you go. There's Wordle is one, and then let me show you another one. The one that I actually use, like I said, is Tag Crowd. Tag Crowd. Go here. I can then paste it. Visualize. And again, I'm starting to see the different terms that are available with or that are in this particular job description: skills, solutions, environment, resolve, customer, communication, complaints, office, sales satisfaction, etc. So again, I get a chance to see what are some of those particular terms that are in my particular industry. All right. So that's how you can find various terms and words that are in the industry and start implementing those, start putting those particular words within your LinkedIn profile. So when we pull up our LinkedIn profile, this is what we see. Or this is our version as job seekers, etc., in terms of what we see on LinkedIn. Now, I'm going to show you what recruiters see and what recruiters are looking for. When recruiters pull up their page, this is what recruiters see on LinkedIn Recruiter, and this is how they search for you. They're going to start a new search right here. And so let's say, again, I'm looking for customer service or some other industry. They're going to put that information in there. Sorry, this is a little blurry, but they're going to put that information, and things are going to come up in terms of who is going to fit that particular description and what type of information in terms of who's open to new opportunities. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But this is a little clutter. Let's go to another one I want to show you here. And it's going to show you this information in terms of how many candidates have popped up and who is open to new opportunities in this particular video as well. Now, when I do this search as a recruiter, notice, remember I was talking to you about job title. In this particular instance, the recruiter is looking for a data analyst or a data scientist, okay? Notice here, these people are coming up. True enough, now we have 791,000 candidates. As a recruiter, I am not going to go through 791,000 candidates. That's a no-no. But I want you to look at this. That's why I told you about your title. Because again, you don't see scientist 1, 2, or 3. These are titles that are coming up as data scientist. Current position is a data scientist. Past position is that as data scientist. So if I'm going to put that in as my key search term as a recruiter, that needs to be somewhere in my title, because again, remember, this is the first thing that recruiters are going to put in to their search when they're looking for you. They're going to be looking for a title. Now let's keep going on. So I want you to see exactly what recruiters are doing. Then they're going to start implementing various filters and putting filters in, including maybe location, different things so far as job titles, different things so far as various skills, etc. Notice again, when I do this, and this is one which has not been filtered just yet by city. So you see here, there's a general search for a data analyst and what giving me 791,000. Like I said, as a recruiter, there's no way I'm going to go through that. So again, I'm going to start as a recruiter adding more filters. Now, this particular filter has now been added, just one simple filter, and this is the filter of a city, where or what my location is. Now you've seen where we've come down from what we had 791,000 data analysts. Now by my putting in a region, by my putting in a city, now it's dropped down to 41,000. Still a significant amount, but 791,000, 41,000, okay, we're getting a little bit smaller here, okay? My pool is dwindling down, but still that's not enough for me. Once again, pay attention to this. You see data scientist, data scientist. Now I'm putting in some more filters. I wanted to have a data scientist that has a background in research, etc. So when we're doing that, I put in more filters as a recruiter. Then my number is starting to come down. Now I've got 6,000 individuals who are data scientists, and I've started narrowing down. I'm getting further and further down. Now, something else I want you to notice here when we go ahead and we continue a little bit further. Now, I've put in more settings. I've put in more filters here regarding what I am looking for as a recruiter. Now, what you can't see is that the number has come up. Now there are 537 candidates. Okay, that's better. I can deal with that. But however, that's still a lot. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is this particular thing. Now, I've got my total number of candidates. Here's one of the tricks that a recruiter, well, I won't necessarily say it's a trick, but here's a way in which you have to understand how recruiters are going to look for you. Notice how I've started to narrow it down. I had to put in the title first. I'm looking at the location, and then I'm starting to put in other different things so far as various skills, various other filters that are more specific. That's where those key words are important that you need to come up with, that you need to make certain that you have in your profile. So in this particular analyst example, we're looking for a data analyst in the San Francisco Bay Area that has research and public speaking and some other type of filter. Now it's broken it down for me. I've gotten this amount of people. 537 is more manageable, but here is something else that recruiter told me about. Look at this. Open to new opportunities. That's why that is important, that you make certain in your settings that you click open to new opportunities in your LinkedIn profile, because the recruiters that I spoke to told me that this is where I am going to start. Let's see, did I get that back? this is where I'm going to start with open to new opportunities, because see here, now it's 76. I've gone down from 537 to 76. These are the individuals that I am going to contact, and you get a chance to see here who has popped up. And of course, these are the individuals that are going to have more of what I am looking for, because they are more closely fit the filters that I put into my search. Now, because 76 are open to new opportunities, I'm going to start here. I can easily contact 76 individuals. This is where I'm going to start. And remember again what I told you regarding what recruiters stated. I'm going to give you about, maybe I'm going to go 2 to 3 pages deep into my search. Within this 76, that's already about 3 pages. So if I've found who I'm looking for, I can find my 6 to 8 individuals, etc. I'm going to go here, and these are the individuals that I'm going to contact first. And there's another reason to my methodology here, because if these are the individuals that are open to new opportunities, these are folks, of course, who are signaling that, okay, I'm interested, you can reach out to me, I want to see what else is available out there. I'm not necessarily going to go to those individual pages who do not have open to new opportunities, because again, why would I start my search there? Again, I am a recruiter. I have a certain amount of time. So again, I don't want to waste my time. So I'm going to at least start here first with those individuals that have the O selected, or that toggle on their LinkedIn platforms or on their LinkedIn profile pages. All right. So you're getting a chance to see this. What is a recruiter looking at? What is a recruiter expecting? What does a recruiter want from me when he or she is doing a particular search? Now, I want you to also look at this. Pay attention here. Let's see if I can get this going for you. Get my little laser pointer. There we go. If you'll see here, also there is this little down arrow that recruiters have as well on their LinkedIn recruiter page. When they pull down this button, this is going to pull up to them. Now, what are those other things? It's going to show how many people in my search have connections with my particular company. Also, recruiters are going to see how many have actually applied to my organization, or they have already replied to a post that our company has posted on LinkedIn. And then I want you to also notice this: 201 engaged with your talent brand. Now, is this going to be a deal maker or a deal breaker? Not necessarily. However, this is also sending me information as a recruiter regarding who has been looking at us, particularly out of these individuals that I've searched with. So who is actually interested or paying attention to who we are? Why are they interested in what it is that we're doing? Maybe this particular person is interested in joining us. But again, this gives me some other added information as well. So also, this is something called who is likely to respond. That means who gives any type of feedback, etc. But the reason why I want to point this out to you regarding this, and also engage with your talent brand, is to also remind you about this regarding LinkedIn. Understand, let me turn my little thingy here off. Okay, understand that LinkedIn is still a social media platform. So you need to engage. That's also something that's going to emphasize, or rather that's also something that's going to enhance, or rather increase, your chances of being found by a recruiter. I often tell this story, and Frank and I I've shared this story with Frank, and we kind of had a good laugh about it. I explained to him when I first got on LinkedIn, or when I was first introduced to LinkedIn, I was in another position at another organization. And so I didn't exactly know what LinkedIn was. I was already fine. I was fulfilled in my position. I was doing fine, etc. So a friend sent me this, hey, you need to get on this LinkedIn. It's a social media thing that it does. So, I did my little thing. Oh, here's my title. Here's my job. This is what I do. Da, 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 da. And here I am. Look at me. And then I just left it. And then when I actually left the workforce, I still didn't do anything to my LinkedIn page because I was thinking, okay, well, as a caregiver or someone at home, I don't necessarily need to be on LinkedIn because I'm not I'm a stay-at-home mom right now. I don't need to be on LinkedIn. Well, the fact of the matter is LinkedIn is actually very useful for your careers. And again, what happens is some people put things on LinkedIn and they're vague, just like I told you at the very beginning, in terms of being vague, in terms of just simply putting your title, where you work, and that's it. People put information on LinkedIn and then just leave it there. Understand you need to engage, you need to be active on LinkedIn, particularly if you want to eventually be open to various opportunities. Something's out there, someone might see your information and might want to contact you. So you need to engage. What does that mean in terms of engaging on LinkedIn? Number one, you need to comment. So comment, if someone posts about your post or comments on your post, reply to that particular post as well. You need to post regularly. So maybe you want to post once a day, maybe you want to post, or rather you want to engage a couple of times a week, etc. But you need to be consistent with that. Now, understand, recruiters are going to be on LinkedIn all day, every day. Okay, not all day, every day, but you get my gist here. They're going to be on LinkedIn for quite a bit because, again, this is their livelihood. So they are out there actively searching for you. And you never know when a various new opportunity might arise. I know someone who was not looking for a position, had his information on LinkedIn, and a recruiter reached out to him, saw his information. Now he has a much higher position in another state, but he has a much higher position now that he was not even looking for, but he kept engaging. He kept updating from time to time regarding what he was doing, and therefore he was found by a recruiter even when he was not even actively looking for a new position. So that's why you can see how LinkedIn can be very beneficial to your career. Opportunities that you may have not even considered can be available to you because, again, you never know who is looking at your information. And remember also, once you submit your resume to a particular company or an organization, guess what? Companies are going to go to your social media feeds. And if you are in any type of professional field, they are going to come to LinkedIn to see who you are on LinkedIn. So, like I said, it's an engagement tool. It's social media. Post, engage. What you want to do, offer personal insights because I don't know what I want to say. Offer some type of personal insight. What is it that you have that's uplifting? What is it that you can say that is invigorating to those individuals within your particular industry? What type of help, what type of advice can you offer? What is it that you can do so far as, even if simply you find an uplifting quote that you want to post, you can even do that. But you don't want to post anything that's inappropriate. You don't want to get into things such as political things, etc. Now, there are those who will start kind of getting into that on LinkedIn, but remember, that's not the purpose of LinkedIn. You will find very many inspirational stories on LinkedIn. And again, that is fine. That's what you want to do because, again, the more you post, the more you engage, then also that means you're more active, and the more you connect with other individuals, the more you start to network, the more you're able to be seen on LinkedIn. And then what you want to do is also follow people as well. Follow those within your industry or follow those people of interest, and then connect with those individuals as well. That's how you begin to network. Now you might be thinking, I can't do anything like that. That's why I want to tell you again about how you send various invitations to connect, and you also use that little text box where it says, do you want to say something? Yes, you don't want to just get on LinkedIn and start clicking randomly. You don't want to do that. But you want to connect with those individuals, and you can do that again through that little connection button. And I've done that myself in terms of individuals that I thought were fascinating, individuals I loved what they posted, individuals that I thought were inspiring, and I just sent them a little connection. You know, I find that your words are inspiring. You always seem to be on point with the comments. You're always uplifting. Would you please connect with me? And more than likely, a lot of people will connect. And if they don't, that's fine. There are other individuals that you connect with as well. Use hashtags when you also post as well. Use hashtags, whether it's job searching, job seeking, etc. Use hashtags so that you can be in more feeds as well. Now, we're talking about first and second connections. Frank's going to get into a little bit more about those types of connections, but the whole point is you want to start to grow your network. Again, if you don't know someone, send that note and tell them why you want to connect with them. And like I said, I've done it and people have been more than happy. Thank you for connecting with me, or at least they'll just connect and now they're in my network. Now I have a chance of being seen on that person's feed as well, because again, all of these are different elements regarding how to get yourself known, how to get yourself seen, because once again, you want to be found on LinkedIn. You want people coming to you as opposed to you going to a lot of folks. Okay. Now, in terms of what has happened since COVID-19, how has LinkedIn changed, or how has recruiters' use of LinkedIn changed? Now, recruiters have told me that there are obviously a lot more people that are in the job market due to the fact that businesses have closed, individuals have been furloughed, things of that nature. However, there are still opportunities, there are still jobs, there are still positions or organizations hiring. So what I've been getting from recruiters is that it's really kind of a mixed bag, and you really just have to take your chances at it. So again, what does that mean? Jobs are open, but recruiters and postings are a lot more specific now. So now there's more competition. So that's why you need to make certain that your information that you have in your LinkedIn profile matches up to the specifics that recruiters are looking for. So in other words, kind of start tightening up. Remember again, those keywords, looking for those keywords and implementing those keywords throughout your LinkedIn profile. Okay? And so overall, when you are putting together your LinkedIn profile, you have to think of it like this. What do I want to be when I grow up? What do you want to be found as? Do you want to be considered when people or recruiters are looking at your profile? Are you a good worker bee, or are you someone who's in more so of a managerial position? What do you want to be when you grow up? I can't decide that for you. Frank can't decide that for you. No one else can decide that for you. You have to decide that for yourself. How is it that I want to be presented? What do I want to be? How do I want to be seen by individuals? And when you settle on that, then you can start getting on your profile, or focusing your profile in terms of how you want to be seen. So recruiters told me, number one, make certain there's enough information in your profile. Remember I told you about vagueness? You wouldn't turn in a resume to anyone that you're searching for with just, here's where I worked, here's my title, here's the years I worked. You wouldn't turn a resume in as such. So don't do that to your LinkedIn page as well. Put that detail in there. Make certain that you are specific, using those key terms, showing your particular accomplishments, because again, what you want, even though as a recruiter, I'm only going to initially give you those first few seconds, at least you want to entice me to want to learn more about me. Okay? So you've got to capture my eye, and then if I'm intrigued, I want to come back and learn a little bit more about you. That's why you need those key terms. That's why you need to make certain you have enough information in your profile. Make certain that you have the right skills, and also you want to make certain in your settings that recruiters can contact you. So I had a recruiter tell me that I found someone wanted to contact with them, and they didn't have any particular information in terms of how I could get in touch with them. So again, whether you have your email address, whether you have a phone number, make certain that recruiters can be able to contact you. And let me show you how you do that just a moment. If I can get out of here for just a second, let me go and see if I can find my LinkedIn page very quickly. Let's see. I want to show you this. I'm getting there. Give me just a moment. Here we go. Make certain, and here we are. Make certain that recruiters can reach out to you, that you have your contact info. So right here, you have this particular section. Click on the contact info, and what pops up? Here's your profile, here's your email. And one of the things you might want to do is include your phone number, but at least you have an email address where recruiters can reach out to you. Okay, so, all right. So again, what do you want to be when you grow up? And now, let's get here. So in other words, now what? Now what's going to happen? So in other words, how are you going to present yourself? And again, these are the elements, these are the ways that recruiters look for you when they are searching for someone to fill a position. Now we're going to get into the good stuff so far as what are the different types of algorithms, etc. What are those things that are behind the scenes? Because again, remember, what can I think about? LinkedIn is actually looking for ways in which they can find you, and there's something going on all the time behind the scenes regarding this. So how can I be found, etc. These are the ways in which recruiters are looking for you. And now I'm getting ready to finish, but remember again this. I can't tell you who and what you want to be, and nor can anyone else tell you who and what you want to be. You have to determine that on your own, okay? And of course, that's going to impact how you present yourself on LinkedIn. So with that being said, until you figure out what you want to be, it's not going to matter. So with that being said, we're going to pause for just a moment because we have to transition. So now that Frank can come on and deliver his portion of the presentation. So I'm going to pop away, and we're going to pause for just a moment so that we can switch screens, etc. And then Frank is going to come on. So now you're finished with the, like I said, the lightweight bout. Now we're getting ready to go for the main event. All right. So thank you so much. And I'll be back a little bit later. So.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm glad to see that you can join us today. Hopefully you can hear me. Am I good, Pat? Okay. So she says yes.
Yes, you can hear. Yes,
okay.
we can hear you, Frank.
Okay.
I'm just muting myself.
No problem. So we're going to talk about being findable on LinkedIn. I know Patrice is giving you some great information so far. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue the conversation. We're going to look a little bit on analytics side. Please keep your Q&A coming in, and we will be able to continue the conversation. And I was answering questions before. Patrice will continue to answer the questions in the Q&A. So just to let you know that we're going to keep going. And so keep the Q&A questions coming, please. And then we'll kind of take it from there. So my portion of LinkedIn, again, is are you findable? What is making you findable by the recruiters, by people who are using LinkedIn to fill positions and or to network with you? And so this is where we're going to go next. So let me get my computer running okay. Here we go. So what is findable? In today's world, what we found, especially in COVID, the average number of job applicants per opening is somewhere between 300 and 500. And actually, it's a far north of 500. But I kind of rounded it down a little bit. So, and that makes it a little bit harder for us to find the opportunities that we're looking for. So my question to you is, would you rather be one of 300 to 500 candidates, or would you rather be one of 3 to 5 candidates? And so using LinkedIn will allow you to maximize your findability within the recruiting network. Now, recruiters use a lot of different programs. Not to say that LinkedIn is the #1 program that they use. Depending on where your forte is, I may be using Dice, may be using Get, I may be using other job search software or job portals. And of course, LinkedIn is probably in my top 3 to 5 portals that I would be using to find quality candidates. Notice I said quality and not necessarily qualified candidates, because I need the best person to fit my opportunity, not only with the skills, but with the talent and the team that we're putting together now. So I'm going to not only be looking at your talent skills, your hard skills, but I'm going to be looking at who you are and what you bring to the table. And like Patrice said, I'm going to give you roughly 10 seconds or less when I scroll through your profile. And we're going to be talking about that as we move forward. So a little bit of recruiting information. This is local numbers. The percentage of recruiters that use LinkedIn to vet candidates, and that's about 98%. That's from the Fortune 5,000 companies. So 98% of those companies use LinkedIn to vet the candidate. What does that mean? You've applied for my job, or your resume has landed on my desk, or maybe it's been an internal referral. I'm going to use LinkedIn to determine who you are and what you bring to the table. The percentage of recruiters that use only LinkedIn to recruit candidates is about 49%. So what does that mean? That means that you can apply all day long on their application site, or through Indeed, or through Monster, or whatever portal you want to use, and they don't care. They're going to get their candidates from LinkedIn. The percentage of companies that use LinkedIn as a recruiting tool, and it's about 93%. So again, we're looking at a large number of employers in the metro area that are using LinkedIn to source for quality candidates. And then the average number of connections that recruiters have on LinkedIn is about 500 plus. And so that's about average. But as we get into optimization of your profile, that number is going to become important to us. So to start off, you have a basic LinkedIn profile like what Pat did originally. Somebody said, you have to be in LinkedIn, and you went in and filled in the blanks, and you go, okay, I'm on LinkedIn. Now what happens next? So what we want to do is we want to make sure that your LinkedIn profile makes you findable. So the #1 thing is optimize your headline to the position you want. And I see this all the time when I look at LinkedIn profiles. People ask me, Frank, will you look at my profile? And I say, yes, I'm going to give you 10 seconds. And if I can't find you, you're a ghost. And that's a bad thing. The first thing that I see on their LinkedIn profile is, I'm searching for a new career. Who cares? I'm looking for a quality candidate. I want to know what you bring to the table. And worst scenario, second worst scenario, is you tell me about jobs you never want to do again. So I'm a program manager. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to be a communications person. And you put all these old job keywords that make no sense because you're trying to rebrand yourself. Second biggest mistake. third biggest mistake is consider how you present current or previous employment. Make sure you're using the most appropriate title. Now, I know Patrice talked to you a little bit about LinkedIn Recruiter and how LinkedIn Recruiter is going to search job titles, and absolutely. But what we have to do is maximize the results there, and we'll talk a little bit more about this as we get going. Make sure that, like when I was working for workforce development, my title was workforce development supervisor for band 2, blah, 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 blah. Nobody's ever going to search for that. So what we have to do is make sure that we're maximizing what the recruiters are looking for in our current or previous employment. Recommendations are a must. In the SEO algorithm, search engine optimization, you must have at least one recommendation. Okay, it could be 5 years old, it could be 5 days old. It doesn't matter, you have to have one. So my recommendation is that you ask, okay? It's gonna move your ranking up to be findable. Keywords, and again, Pat talked about this, but keywords are how I find you as a recruiter. And the keywords that you use have to be the most important thing on this. So what I need you to do is I need you to pack that headline with the keywords for the job and or jobs that you are sourcing for, okay? LinkedIn has increased the number of characters in your headline. So you can now have 200 characters in your headline, which is perfect. That allows you to pack more keywords. Skills. Absolute. That's the number 2 thing that LinkedIn Recruiter looks at. When it's sourcing for a person, it looks at headlines first, then it looks at skills, then the about section, and that about section needs to be packed with appropriate keywords. Then it looks at your job titles and description, and then finally your education. Okay, so keep this ranking in mind as how you're building your profile to make sure you are packing each one of these sections with appropriate keywords. Next thing you need to do is you need to engage recruiters. They are the people that are doing the sourcing. Join industries or specific industry groups. Then once you've joined that group, typically you are going to get access to the list. In other words, the membership list. And so what I need you to do is to scroll through that list. Figure out on that list who are the recruiters, who are the talent acquisition, who are HR, and connect with those people. Now you have a reason to connect with them because you're both in the same group. Now, this is going to be kind of hard to do if you're joining national groups with 1,000 members, 2,000 members, 10,000 members, 100,000 members. Okay, but smaller local groups like St. Louis Job Angels, which is my networking group, please connect with me and St. Louis Job Angels. And right now I've got about 5,000, almost 6,000 active members, and about 40% of those are recruiters, talent acquisition, HR. So it's a perfect scenario for you to connect with individuals within that recruiting group. As much as LinkedIn says you should only connect with people you know, their algorithm wants you to connect with many people as possible, okay? So what you want to do is make sure that, first of all, the first people you're connecting with are recruiters, and the second people you're connecting with are people in your peer groups, and then everybody else, okay? And so the algorithm makes it more equitable for you to be found based on how many connections you have. Greater emphasis, and this just came about, it has moved from the number 4 search parameter to the number 2 search parameter in the rankings of how LinkedIn looks at you. So align your skills based on relevancy. What I need you to do is remove a lot of those soft skills and add hard skills. You need to have a minimum of 50 skills. And I don't want to hear it. I don't want you to go, well, I don't have 50 skills, but yet you have 20 years experience. You've got to have 50 skills. Okay, so what I need you to do is start thinking about what do you bring to the table, not what you've done, but what do you bring to the table for your next employer, and build that skills list. Review profiles of your peers and colleagues, and then look at their skill base and endorse them once or twice on those skills base, and then add that to your profile as well. Review job postings that are similar to your interests and see how many of those have the frequently used skills. Just use Tag Crowd. And I have another recommendation on that as we get to the end of my program. But again, the same thing. This is all about being found. I would personally rather be one of 3 to 5 people versus one of 5 to 800 people. And then the recruiter doesn't have time. So what if you're number 510 on the list? Pat's already indicated you need to be in the top 50, right? So it's not doing you any good. But if you're in the top 50 of the search results on LinkedIn, that tells me you will be found. LinkedIn endorsements. LinkedIn has implemented machine learning algorithms to show that the people you're connected with and the recruiter. So if I land on your profile as a recruiter and I look at your LinkedIn skills and I see some of the people that I've already connected with have the same skill as you, that makes you more marketable to me. So again, as you join those groups and as you connect to people, recruiters within those groups will allow you, LinkedIn will allow them to see that you're connected to people in the same group as them and then make you more marketable to that recruiter. Being anonymous, and I see this all the time, and as a matter of fact, we just had a Q&A question about being anonymous. Why are people being anonymous? So one thing is I could be looking at you from outside of LinkedIn. I wrote an algorithm several years back to let me data mine LinkedIn for quality candidates when I was a recruiter. And it allowed me to see you, see your profile, or not all your profile, but what I needed to get out of your profile fairly quickly. And all you got on your profile was an anonymous view. Who cares? Okay, what about you being anonymous? And people ask me that all the time. Really, one thing, it's an absolutely no. Okay, and the problem with being anonymous, and I ask people all the time, why do you want to be anonymous? Oh, I want to go check out my last boss. I want to see what they're doing. Who cares? Are you ever going to go work for that person again? Yes, no, maybe. And no, you don't need to know. And if you do, if you want to connect with them, then connect with them. Here's the biggest problem. So you turn yourself anonymous. And then I'm the recruiter. I post a job, I run my job search, I pull out my top 10 people, and because you're anonymous, you don't show up in the algorithm. And you just lost an opportunity. And so I disagree with the anonymous button, and I don't like it. And I want to make sure that, yes, you can, but you are doing yourself a disservice by being anonymous. This is a public search forum. It's like Google. You know, if the car dealership says, well, we're going to be anonymous so we can go look at people, and then you go in and you're looking for a car and you type car dealership, they don't show up. How much business do you think they lost? Exact same thing here. Don't. I don't care what your excuse is. There's no reason to be anonymous. Now, there are some personal reasons. I get it. And we can discuss that offline. But for the generalist population, being anonymous is a bad thing on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has changed your search results. Search is based on 2 parameters. Number 1, relevance. And again, that's that keyword. And 2, 100% complete profile. The more closely you match the job ad, the higher your relevance is going to be. The more closely that you've hit that profile mark, that 100% complete profile, the higher ranking you're going to be. Again, skills has become an integral part of the priority search process. So if we would say 3 parameters: relevance, complete profile, and skills, which is built throughout the entire profile. Active job seekers are being sourced based on search term. And this it should say, not summary, it should say in their about section. So this is kind of an old slide, but that's what we need to understand. Now, we'll talk a little bit about the new little search box that, but we need to be able to be found, okay? The top 3 search results on LinkedIn using LinkedIn Recruiter are first-degree contacts. In other words, you're connected to me, that are 100% complete or nearest to it, have the most in common connections. So I'm the recruiter, you're connected to me, you belong to my recruiting group, St. Louis Job Angels. Guess what? You're in the top 50, okay? And then we go down from there. Second results, so let's say this is going to be my second page of my search results. First degree contact that are 100% complete or nearest to it, ranked in descending order. Notice the most common connections are not there anymore. So now you're at my second page or possibly third page. And then my last is second degree contacts that are 100% in descending order. So then you're moving outside that top 50 by not connecting with those recruiters within your industry, okay? According to LinkedIn, the following things make up a complete profile. Photo. And what I'm looking for is a photo. I'm looking for a headshot. That's all I need. I don't need you to stand in front of your big, beautiful car pointing at it like this is the best thing to slice bread. I need to see a photo. I have a lot of people come to me, well, Frank, I don't want to put my photo out there because I have experience in my hair and I don't want them to discriminate against me because I'm old. So this is really simple. If you don't have a photo, about 80% of the recruiters I know will skip right over you. It's that simple. So you are just discriminated because you didn't have a photo, not because you were old. Second part of that is when you show up, we do a Zoom, we do a Google Meet, or you come to my office and I see that experience in your hair. What makes you think that I won't discriminate against you then? Third and most important thing, do you want to work for a company that discriminates? I don't think so. We need a photo, okay? Headline, first searchable item. I need complete information on your last 2 jobs. Now, if you were long-term employed, in other words, if you were employed at a company for 8 years or longer, LinkedIn considers that 2 jobs. And again, your about section must have good keyword content, okay? Skills, again, you must have 50 in order to be SEO, search engine optimized. And then prioritize those skills based on relevance. What I need you to do is I need you to take a look at your top 3 skills that you bring to the table. That's not a task. That's not a job title. That's not technology. In other words, I don't want to see Microsoft Office as your top skill because that tells me you're a clerk, all right, versus a professional looking for a professional opportunity, okay? Schools and college information, connection. Now, in order to be findable, you have to have a minimum of 100. LinkedIn says you have to have a minimum of 50. However, in order to be SEO, search engine optimized, you need a minimum of 300. Okay, so 300 connections, there's your first goal. Recommendations, again, this is new. This has only come up within the last 24 months. but you have to have at least one recommendation on your profile and be active. Now, I've got active. You need to post something, you need to add comments, and you need to like posts. Now, let me kind of give you a disclaimer on liking posts. It really shows that you're active, but it doesn't show that it doesn't increase your search algorithm. And then we'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit more. But adding a post or uploading a post, creating a post, and or commenting on somebody else's post is going to keep you more or give you higher ranking in the search results versus just having a regular post or liking a post, I'm sorry. Keywords in certain fields rank higher. Keywords in headline, skills, and job titles ranks highest in the search results. Okay, if you do not put the appropriate keywords in your job title or skills or headline, I'm never going to find you. And it's that simple. Okay. What you can do, and I'm going to show you a couple little tips and tricks to see if you're being found without having to pay for LinkedIn Professional. So we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But the worst thing you can do is have a headline that says, searching for my next career. Okay. It doesn't say anything because a recruiter literally is never going to type into the search box, I wonder who's searching for their next career. You know, it's just not going to happen. Okay. I want to see who's available. Absolutely. I also want to see who is upward mobile. Absolutely. But I don't care if you're searching for your next career or not. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. And you've just lost a lot of valuable real estate by putting that in how many characters, 25, 30, 40 characters that you just use, that we could have packed it full of keywords associated with the job that you are sourcing for. Use a variety of keywords. This is not like your resume. When you build your resume and you keyword it specifically for a job app, LinkedIn is not your resume. Please don't consider this your resume. This is a portrait of you, what you bring to the table. And so what we want to do is make sure that your keyword results in keywords that are most common to the opportunity that you are sourcing for. So if you are using Microsoft products, so keyword could be Microsoft Office Suite, but it also could be Microsoft Word or MS Word or MS PowerPoint. And so you're going to be using a variety of keywords versus siloing the keywords. And again, LinkedIn uses a contextual search algorithm. So if you type in Java as a keyword, LinkedIn wants to know how you use that Java. Is it Java as a cup of coffee? Is it Java the country? Is it Java development, a web page development? So again, we have to contextualize that. So web page development using Java software. To contextualize, keep that in mind as you building your search terms or your keywords. Active job seekers. Now, there are two ways to show that you're active. So if you're using LinkedIn Recruiter, and we're going to talk about that, there's one way, but a majority of the recruiters don't want to pay the $5,000 a month for LinkedIn Recruiter. Okay, unless they're on a corporate budget, then maybe. So what we want to do is we want to use Boolean search features outside of LinkedIn. So like doing a Google search or doing an advanced search within LinkedIn. And so what I want you to do is in your About section, I want you to include your email address, your Twitter handle, and any other contact information that you would provide. Don't put your Facebook page. unless it's a business for Facebook, or so it's a business page on Facebook. But other than that, don't put your Facebook. Then what I need you to do in your about section, I need you to use one of the 7 words: seeking, seeker, looking, actively pursuing, pursuing new, available, or searching. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily have to be I am looking for a new job. So actively seeking a career within whatever industry you're sourcing for. Very short, very sweet, can be at the very end of that character. Keep in mind, you have now 2,600 characters within the about section, and you want to be able to utilize as much of that as possible. Why? Very, very rich keyword count. And so that's what we want to do, okay? How many times have you shown up in search results, and how many views have you had on your profile? So what we want to do is determine, are you reaching your right audience? And again, here's the thought process. The thought process is going to give us information about what you bring to the table. And we need to develop our LinkedIn strategy around there. So what we're going to do is we're going to determine on whether we're SEO. So we're going to go to our dashboard, all right? And we're going to start from there. So here's my dashboard. First thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that I've reached that all-star level. Now, our star level used to be a big deal in LinkedIn. And right now, it still helps out in the algorithm, but it's not talked about as much as in the olden days, which was about a year ago. All right, so the next thing that we can do is we can look at who's viewed your profile, how many views you had on your most recent post, and then how many times you've shown up in the search appearances. Now, I use LinkedIn free. Why? Because I can use almost any other source, such as Google and other programs, that can give me as much things to I would get by using the paid version of LinkedIn. But that's your decision. Okay, so here's my article views. Here's one of the articles that I wrote about Outstanding Service to Veterans Awards. And what you do, let me go back one, you're going to click on the blue post views, and it's going to bring up your articles. It's going to bring up information. And what you're going to do is you're going to look at this article views to see who's reaching out to you, who has looked at your program. So if we take a look at here, and you can see here, 898 people have viewed your post with the title of salesperson. I get a lot of people from Walmart looking at my profile. I'm not sure why, but I do. Anyway, but let's take a look at this. 373 recruiters saw this post. 357 CEOs, 312 HR, corporate strategists, operations, project managers, corporate trainers. These are the people that are looking at my profile. This is the audience that I want to reach. Okay, now, where are these people from? So we saw Air Force, Charter, Monsanto, Express Script, SSM, Boeing, St. Louis U, Ed Jones. So I have a lot of people here that are reaching out to me through my views. So here's the first thing that you want to look at, okay? So you want to be able to go here. Again, this is off of your profile view, and click here. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring up this. And then you use this when you post an article, and after a week, take a look. Even if you only have 40 views, or if you have 500 views, or if you have 1,000 views. This article actually went to a little over almost 99,000 views when it was all done. But here, what I want you to see is that, are you reaching your audience? So if all of this that you have here are salespeople, and you're not in sales, and you wanting to be a project manager, and none of the people are seeing your views that are project managers, you need to rethink how your LinkedIn profile is set up. And we then start from there. Now, people who viewed your profile, I get this all the time. How can I see these people? There are third-party solutions that allow you to see who these people are. You can pay LinkedIn and they will let you see who people are, okay? But here's the thing. This is telling me that I'm reaching my audience. This is free. So what you want to do is make sure, unless you want to pay a service, this is what's going to get you where you want to be, okay? So SEO, search engine optimized. First thing, get connected to as many as a recruiter, HR managers, talent acquisition managers, sourcers in your industry. Recruiters post most often to their networking groups first, okay? I get notes from recruiters all the time in my feed, looking for the right person to fill the right job, PM me, which is a personal message, okay? I see that in my groups that I belong to. So St. Louis Job Angel, a lot of the IT groups. So they are connected to me, I'm connected to them, and we're in the same group, and those jobs are showing up. Funny thing is, if they post that note there, they don't have to pay for a position within LinkedIn. So I'm getting to see a job that's not posted anywhere else except there. So again, a resource for you to make this work for you. Remember, recruiters are the ones that are conducting the most searches. So you need to optimize your profile. Keywords, make sure your keywords are optimized for the job or jobs you are sourcing for, okay? And remember your job search ranking. I want to see the top 3 on that profile. What keywords do you have showing up? When I look at your profile, does it say Microsoft Office, PowerPoint, and Excel? Oh, look, I have another clerk that I want to help get a job for. And yet you're a project manager, okay? Look at how, again, adjust your search profile and make sure that you're reaching the right audience. Who are you reaching out to? Who is seeing your information? Making sure that you will grow with the search feature as well. Simply by shifting your perception of LinkedIn from an online resume, which it's not, to an online advertising platform or search platform, you can approach your career opportunities with a quantifiable perspective. It's really simple. I can tell you right now, I am getting anywhere from 15 to 20 job opportunities from LinkedIn every day. I'm getting roughly 100 job opportunities coming out of Facebook every day. And I'm getting somewhere between 15 to 30 opportunities coming out of Google every day. I don't spend any of my time on job boards, not when I can have all this information delivered to my fingertips. And utilizing LinkedIn's platform helps that cause. But I have to be found. First thing that I need you to do is I need you to go to your privacy settings. And I need you to turn off sharing profile edits. So every time you're going to be in the process of rebuilding your profile, what I need you to do is turn that off. Why? Because I don't want to see every day that you've added a photo, that you've updated your about section, that you've updated your about section again, that you've updated your about section again. What's going to end up happening is I'm just going to start dismissing everything about you. And LinkedIn allows me to mute you. And so as a recruiter, literally I could mute you and then you don't show up in anything. Okay? So just keep that in mind. Turn it off. I don't want to share that. Who cares that I just updated my about section? Once your about section is 100% complete, what I would do personally is go turn that on add one word to one sentence, save it, and notify everybody that my LinkedIn profile is up to date. And then go back in and turn off the edits. But that's when my profile is SEO. Share your career and interest. So this is a brand new section. It just showed up, I think, in December of last year. And so what it does is allows you to show recruiters that you're open to work. So what we'll do is this shows up on your profile. Notice mine isn't on because I'm not looking. But we can click here. What it does is it tells us what kind of jobs that you're looking at. And I did a little bit of research, and I can put up to 25 job titles. Okay, I can put my locations, so Hazelwood, Missouri, United States. You can put Greater St. Louis area, and what that does is gives you the metro area. Okay, immediately I'm actively applying, flexible. I'm casually browsing. I can put full-time, part-time, contract, remote, and then I can choose who sees. So I can share this with all my LinkedIn members. So that's everybody, all right? Or I can only share this with recruiters. Now they put this here so that if you're currently employed and you don't want your employer to know that you're looking, it says people using LinkedIn's recruiter product, and you click that, then only recruiters that are sourcing in LinkedIn's recruiter product will be able to see this. Now, I can tell you again that a lot of recruiters don't use it. They're not paying that dollar amount to have LinkedIn Recruiter. So whether you have this on or off, it doesn't show up in their algorithm. It doesn't show up in the process, like the individuals that are using LinkedIn Recruiter. Okay, so will this work? Yes and no. All right, so if you want to share it with everybody, it adds the hashtag open to work in a photo frame around your name. The only time that I will see that if I'm not using LinkedIn Recruiter, I'll see it when I find you. Okay, and hopefully I can find you. And if you put share to recruiters only, then nobody knows except recruiters that are using LinkedIn Recruiter. Okay, so again, it's kind of give it a try if you'd like. And that's why previously those 7 words, I asked you to put those into your profile so that as a recruiter not using LinkedIn Recruiter, I can find you. Okay, and by having one of those words in your about section makes you findable for me. LinkedIn or recruiters have 2 thought processes. I have an opportunity and I need to bring somebody on in the next 3 to 5 months. So I have time to work with you. Or I need to fill this position today. And so I need somebody who's actively seeking. And so this is what these opportunities present. So whether you're using this or you're using mine or you're using both, it's entirely up to you. You decide on how this is going to work for you. What employers see when you apply via LinkedIn Easy Apply. So how many of you hopefully have used LinkedIn Easy? Okay, so this is what happens. And you push the button and you go, oh, I'm done. Oh, that was really cool. I don't have to do anything. Wrong. This is all I get. I get your name. I get your headline. I get your current and past job titles, nothing else, no details, no explanation, just your job titles. I only get the name of the school you last attended. So if you went to What's the Matter You, that's all I get. All right. I get how many recommendations you have. And again, you need to have at least one. How many connections you have. And again, if you only have 50 connections, because well, I don't want to connect with people. Well, that shows me that you're not optimized. And then your contact information coming from your LinkedIn profile, your address, phone number, or just your email address if you don't make your phone number visible to recruiters. And that's all I get. Okay. And then I'm going to take this information, look at it for about 6 to 10 seconds to determine whether I want to reach out to you or not. Now, one of the biggest complaints that I got from recruiters, and we just had a recruiter meeting last week, or actually yesterday afternoon, I met with some recruiters, and we had a great conversation. But one of the things that they told me is one of their pet peeves is that when they post a job and they put the easy apply button, 9 times out of 9 or 10 times out of 10, they are requesting a resume be sent as well. And what they're saying is more than 50% of the people don't attach a resume or don't forward a resume for the job that they just applied for. They think all I have to do is push this and I'm done. Okay. The other 20% of the people say, our recruiters are saying, and more than 20% are telling me that they're getting a generic resume that makes no sense to the job that people are applying for. And so you just lost an opportunity. So read the directions. If it says easy apply and you want to use that feature, and I agree, it's a great feature to use, but my recommendation is read everything about that job. Make sure you have a customized resume. Make sure you send that resume appropriately to the recruiter, as well as a cover letter. Now remember, your email is going to be your cover letter. Attach a PDF version of your resume because you're emailing it, as well as using the easy apply button. Let's talk about paid versus free. So on the paid version, you get to see who's viewed your profile over the last 90 days. Now, that's kind of a misnomer because you're not going to see everybody. You're not going to see the people who are not coming through LinkedIn to see your profile. So you're only going to see people who use LinkedIn and clicked on your profile. Those are the people you're going to see, which my understanding is not 100% of the people who's viewed your profile. On the free side, you only get to see the last 5 people. And people ask me, well, I want to know, who's this anonymous? Why do you care? If you're reaching out to your network appropriately, why do you care? I want to know if the people that saw my article or the people in my job search list, can they give me a job? And that's how I determine. You get up to 50 in-mail messages per month. Notice it says up to 15 in-mail messages per month. On the paid side or the free side, you get no in-mail messages, but you get free messaging. So you can actually message through their messaging service, okay? You get more advanced search profile results. I can tell you probably 95% of you out there listening this morning are not even using the advanced search profile. So is it worth $59 a month for you to see 10 people? You know, I'm getting probably 40 to 50 views a day. How many are you getting? And is it worth $60 for you to see those 5 people? I don't think so, but that's me. That may not be you. You get limited search filters within the free version. You need to come to my class on how to find recruiters, HR talent acquisition, which is coming up in the next couple of weeks. And I'll show you how to get by those filters. Access to LinkedIn Learning and premium career services. And then on the free side, you have limited access. So let me tell you a little secret. If you go to mylibrary.org, all right, everything that LinkedIn is offering on their $60 a month, you can go to the local library, both St. Louis County, St. Louis City, St. Charles County, their library system, and get these for free. Okay, so now is it worth 60 bucks a month? I don't know. That's your personal decision, that you can now see the 10 people that looked at your profile versus the 5 people that looked at your profile. And again, if it was a recruiter coming in outside, you don't see who I am. All right? So just kind of keep that in mind. You decide on whether this is going to work for you or not. So here's our checklist. Number 1, headline. Make sure that your keywords are appropriate for the role specific that you are sourcing for. Digital marketing, a technical project manager. What is it that you are looking at? Okay. Make sure that you're staying within your industry or area of expertise. So I'm working with a gentleman right now, and he's a project manager, but he's not an IT project manager. So we have to carefully craft his headline to show the project management experience without going into IT project manager. Okay. Skills. Add relevance to your skills. Okay. Make sure the top 3 skills or you can pin them to your top 3 skills, and make sure that those outline who you are and what you bring to the table. One of the recommendations that I got the other day from a recruiter was rotate your top 3 skills every couple of months so that you show up differently in the search parameters. I put it in here. I haven't personally checked, determined whether this is a worthwhile thing or not. I haven't vetted it, but it sounds like a good idea. So I decided, last night around midnight to add it. So endorse people for skills, especially those skills that you have on your profile. And the reason is that when a recruiter looks at them and looks at their top 3 skills, guess who's going to show up? You will. So here's a little tidbit for you to add to your profile. Go to the About section. Tell your story. Up into present, and we have a lot of good communications people out there, a lot of people who write very well. So look at how they've written theirs, and then I don't want you to copy, I don't want you to cut and paste theirs. What I want you to do is say, how can I apply the same thought process? Written in first person is recommended, but if it's not, don't worry about it. Include updated accomplishments. Delete fuzzy facts, and I like this. I pulled this from another LinkedIn guru. Her thought process is driven. I'm driven. I'm a collaborative person. I'm organized. Those are unquantifiable thought processes. And so what we want to do is make sure that we're showing hard skills versus soft skills. Include a call to action, such as contact me at, I can be followed on Twitter at, what it needs to be. Check out my website, my portfolio. What do you bring to the table that they can utilize to help them make the decision for you? Photo. Again, this is a must. I don't care if you're 20 years old. I don't care if you're 120 years old. Just look at me. I'm 111 years old, and my photo is out there, okay? What I'm looking for is a close-up of your face. I don't need your whole face. I need your face to take up about 1/3 of the picture. So 2/3 of the picture is going to be white background or some type of background, and then your face, a headshot. Smile. It's not a selfie. Please, please, please don't crop your picture out of another picture, because everybody can tell. And what it does is tells recruiters, you don't even have enough time to take a picture. You're not going to have enough time to do the job. Show it to others. Make sure that it performs for competence, likability, and influence. So if I see your picture and it's not business-like, is that what you're going for? That you're a non-business person looking for a job? Or is it going to be you? Keep in mind, in today's COVID world, everybody's working from home. So we're a little bit more lazy, except for me, I'm still terminally lazy. But you need to make this work for you. So test it out, send it to a few people. Don't send it to family members because they're going to give you the soft sell. Oh, you look so pretty. This is a perfect picture. We need to look at it from a business aspect. Recommendations. You need at least one. And if you don't have one, write one. Write one for you. And then send it to a couple of people and say, hey, could you recommend me on LinkedIn? And I will be glad to reciprocate. I'd love to recommend you on LinkedIn. Give me some words, give me a couple of paragraphs that I can work from, and I'll be glad to write it, send it back to you, and we'll both, take advantage of LinkedIn's SEO algorithm. Okay? And then here's my number one tip, tag crowd, just like Patrice said. Tag crowd works for me, works for you. It's real simple to use. You drop in, you do visualize, you can add, edit words, so you can take out small words, which it already does. You can remove duplicate words, and I really like tag crowd. Wordle is, I know we used to talk about Wordle all day long. Problem with Wordle is it's a Java applet and it doesn't work on a lot of machines. So just kind of keep that in mind. So we like tag crowd. My number two tip is jasondavies.com. And it does very similar to tag crowd, but it gives you a little bit more flexibility. And it allows you to create a little bit better picture. I like it because it's color. And it makes the words stand out a little bit better for me. But being a creative person, this works for me. But you kind of decide. Both Tag Crowd and Jason Davies are free, so you don't have to worry about anything. The other thing is both Tag Crowd and this, you can export. So you can export this out and it works. So then you can save it in your career portfolio for each job that you're marketing to. All right. So what we need to understand in this whole process is that we have to build the right network. LinkedIn originally was a networking or crowd sharing application. What it did is allow you to connect with people in your industry and connect with others. You could share your resume, you could share videos, you could share posting. And now LinkedIn has become more and more of a job finding network. And so what you need to do is build that network that works for you. And this is my network. And actually, this is an old picture of my network. I need to redo this, but I'm terminally lazy, but here we go. You can see in the dark blue is my professional network. These are you. These are the people that I've helped network with, help them to find opportunities, and now they're part of my professional network. You can see my business network is phenomenally used. It's all of the people and all of the companies that I have networked with and I'm following and I've made connections with. My employment network, so that's that small group of individuals who are currently unemployed that are looking and that I have touched in some form or fashion. My IT network, because I come from an IT background, I have a large IT network, makes this work for me. Career managers, that's all the talent acquisition, recruiters, sourcing, HR, and that does a great. You can see they're spread out through in this entire network. So my career strategists, that's people like me and Patrice and Frank Danzo and Dwayne Miller and all of these great people out there who help you find the right opportunities. And then again, talent acquisition, and I'm still on multiple boards, which I need to sign my resignation on. But you can tell, everybody here has either helped me in some form or fashion, I've helped them in some form or fashion, and we've created this fantastic collaborative network. What this does is allows me to reach out and ask questions of the right network. So earlier in the week, I met with 90 recruiters. We had a great Zoom meeting. I asked a bunch of dumb questions and I got a lot of feedback from recruiters. And then we broke up and met with 10 specific recruiters last evening, and we had a great conversation on next steps. Where are they going is my number one question. I never ask recruiters, are you hiring? I ask recruiters, how do you hire? What's the process to get my resume to your desk? And that's the biggest question that should be on your mind versus are you hiring or not? So questions. Pat, how are we going to do this? I forget to ask.
Oh, no, that'll be great. Definitely in terms of asking questions. Actually, I've got a couple that came in while you were speaking, and I didn't want to lie. Like my mom always told me, don't lie about something if you don't know it. So anyway, a couple of questions that came in terms of with skills. You listed that we should have those 50 skills, take all of that space with LinkedIn, but also is it as important to have those skills endorsed, and do you need to have a certain amount of endorsement? So number one, yes, list the 50 skills, but how important is it to have those skills endorsed? And number two, should you have a certain amount of endorsements for each skill, at least 10 endorsements or 5 endorsements, like that?
The LinkedIn algorithm requires that you have 1 endorsement per skill. So if you have 50 skills, you have a minimum of 50 endorsements. And so that's what you want to be able to utilize in your thought process. So if you upload a new skill, let's say Microsoft Office, then reach out to one of your connections and say, hey, I just updated my skills list. Would you please endorse me on Microsoft Office, Word, and PowerPoint? And if you send me 3 skills that you need endorsed on, or you would like me to endorse you on, I'll be glad to do that. Now, the algorithm will actually show those top 5 skills when people land on your profile. And they'll say, would you like to endorse Frank for blah? To me, it really doesn't matter one way or the other, but if you need to have at least 1 endorsement per skill to be SEO.
Okay, and then we had a question about, you mentioned something about 7 words. Yeah, I kind of didn't catch all of that, but someone wanted to ask you about 7 words that you mentioned.
Yes. Let me bring this back up. These are active search terms within LinkedIn. I gotta find which, I should write that slide down. Here we go. So active job seekers. So
okay.
You all remember it's slide number 16 in case I forget. And these are the terms that I'm looking for. Seeker or seeking, seeker, looking, actively pursuing, pursuing new, available, and searching. So what that does is it allows me to go in and source for you. And so let me pull up my algorithm. I got to share. Hold on. So here's my software that I wrote a couple of years back, and I just updated it just about 6 months ago, and then COVID hit, and it's all screwed up. You see this right here where it says active job seekers? What that does is emulate what Pat showed you on the LinkedIn recruiter that says available. And so by telling the recruiters outside of LinkedIn, that you're actively pursuing an opportunity, I can then, if we look at, we have Ben Baker, Christopher Sharp, Chris Hastings as project managers. Let's go here and notice these people that show up. These are the people that I'm going to source for first, okay? Because they are the ones somewhere on their record. And you can see here, we'll look at Michael Hobson, and it says right here, actively seeking. Okay, so that's a disruptor. It's the ability for me to pull from there. And notice here it says profiles with emails. So if you put your email, connect with me at frankalanese@gmail.com, and I can click there, and rather than me having to go through the entire process, guess what? Pa-bam, I'm there. I've got you in my sites, because notice we're not in LinkedIn. I'm in my Google search engine that I designed specifically to go in and connect, okay? And so that's what we have to do. That's what we need to look forward for in order this. Now I'm gonna let you know, please do not ask for that search engine. I don't share it with anybody. Well, I will if you send me $1 million in $1 bills. I'll be glad to share it. But other than that, that's mine. I use it specifically when I help people design their LinkedIn profile. So don't ask for it, please. And I typically get about 30 people will go, hey, can I have that? No, you can't. All right. I've actually had recruiters go, Frank, can we? No, you can't. So there we go. So any questions? Any other questions?
Some other questions came through. So for those, let's say for those who obviously are not analytically inclined and they still don't know in terms of, okay, I want to make sure I'm getting the correct keywords. Other than, for example, what was, for example, we both showed the word cloud, for example. Are there any other ways? Because again, if most of us don't have something like you have, how can we make sure that we're getting search terms, those good search terms that most recruiters are going to be looking for, whether they're on LinkedIn or any other type of forum?
Oh, good question. I personally use TagCrowd and Jason Davies. You're not going to get 100% ever. It's really simple. What you're going to do, and what I recommend people do, is I recommend that they go to their favorite job board. Not Indeed, but their favorite job board. And you look for that job, and you copy 5 jobs from that job board that you are looking at, that you are searching for. And you drop each one of those jobs one at a time into TagCrowd or into Jason Davies. And then you get the results and you save it. And then you do the next job, and then you do the next job. I used to tell people 10 jobs, and actually nobody ever did 10 jobs. Well, I think maybe Julie might have done 10 jobs, but nobody else has. I can tell you right now, Nick Abbott hasn't ever done 10 jobs. I'm just picking on you, Nick. But here's the deal. And what it's going to do is it's going to tell you how to make this work. Now, there are some other software platforms, but you have to pay for them. And I'm not willing to make you pay for anything.
Right.
Other than the $1 million $1 bills. But that's another subject.
That's another. So. Wait, new $1 bills, right, Frank?
Yes, they have to be
nice
2020.
Yes.
Yeah, they have to be 2020 $1 bills.
Okay.
But that's the thing.
Okay. We have three new questions that popped up. In terms of the actively seeking, job seeking, et cetera, it says, do you put this in your headline or in another section?
No. Don't put it in your headline. The headline is the first search criteria. Put it in your about section. Make it the very last sentence in your, so you've got 2,000 characters, or actually 2,600 characters now in the about section. My recommendation is the very last line. You have your contact information. Connect with me at Gmail, here's my Twitter handler, and I am actively pursuing opportunities within the financial industry or whatever you want to put, and that's it. Okay, no more, no less. Real simple, make it work for you, okay?
Because you don't want to look desperate, like, please give me a job, help me find a job,
Yes.
etc. You don't like
that was one of the things that the recruiter group brought up. They said, Frank, when we see that, we just keep going, because basically that person is just going to hound me to death. Now, is that a truism? Maybe, but they've already made that assumption, so they've just eliminated you because of the wrong idea, okay?
Okay. And then we have a question here. Would you review again briefly how we create the label tracker?
Label tracker.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe it's that person can just kind of read.
Google Keep. Robert, is that what you're talking about? Google Keep?
It is Robert. Let's see. Hold on. It came down here and let's see. Why can't I pull this down? Hold on. I'm trying to pull it down so I can see this a little bit better. Don't see. Let's see. I just see. Let's see. I don't see a response to that. Him saying that. But let's see. Okay. How can we get 40 to 50 recruiters contacting me like you? Cool.
1 million. No,
I was going to say get a wig, then get some glasses. Then you say that you have an IT.
Okay. This is really simple, and I can't stress how simple this is. When you look at my profile, I've got, and I think they counted it up one time, almost 5,000 characters within my whole profile. And one of my people that I was working with was asked the very same question. It's really simple. You connect with people that can give you a job. So it's nice to connect with people who can help you get there or can refer you, but I connect with the majority of the people that can help me work on an opportunity. The second thing is, going back to my profile, I have close to 400 keywords embedded on my entire profile. And those 400 keywords allow me to be in the top 1% of the search results. Okay, and by maximizing the keyword count, by telling everybody that I am sourcing for an opportunity, makes me a valuable search product. Now, I'm going to let you know right off the bat, I am not looking for a job. I am retired. And so I do this because Pat gives me cookies. And so, but the idea is that what you need to do is maximize 100% of what you bring to the table. Okay, and when you do that, that allows you to bring everything that that employer is looking for. In today's world, it's really simple that I need to find somebody that can start work today, that can do the job that I'm hiring them for, that will cause me no trouble, and more importantly, has the team aspect that my company needs. Okay, and what I've done is maximized every one of those thought processes on my profile. And while we were talking, Facebook just sent me a link to the top 100 jobs on Facebook. And what does that mean? I don't know, because I'm never going to look at it. But if I decided to, there's my starting point versus going to Indeed and going click, 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 and seeing the same jobs every day. Okay, that to me is a problem that I don't want to deal with. You know, being an old guy, I want to be able to maximize my ability to get things done.
Mhm.
Okay?
Mhm.
And so work smart, not harder,
Mhm.
and make
That's
this
it.
work for you. So let me get back real quick to Robert's
Mhm.
question. I use Google Keep to store all of my search parameters. So for every job that I apply for, I store everything. And so what I did is I built a template in Google Keep, and Robert, email me. I will be glad to send this template to you. Okay? And notice I put my little picture here, my robot. I'm a creative guy. I don't know what that means, but it allows me. So here's my job title, company name, contact. What it does is it stores everything about this job that I want to be able to track, so that when I sit down with a recruiter picks up the phone, calls Frank, and says, hey, you've applied for my job. Guess what I'm doing? I'm opening up my tablet, I'm opening up my laptop, I'm opening up my phone, or switching my phone over to Google Keep. I'm pulling that job up, and now I have everything on my fingertips about that opportunity. And now I can talk intelligently about that job.
Mhm.
As a former recruiter, I can't tell you how many times I've called individuals and said, you applied for one of my jobs, and you're going, I did. And what company is this again? Oh yeah, I remember now. And I'm going, you have no clue, buddy, do you? And so, Robert, please reach out. I will be glad to send this to you. Okay.
Okay. And in terms of how you, let's see, someone was asking about profile edits. I know you have to go into settings to turn off the profile edits, and then you just go to look at the information
Yes.
regarding updating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go to profile edits and go to privacy, and it's right there.
Okay.
All
And
right.
one thing that I would like to say is also what Frank was saying in terms of pictures. Please have a professional picture. I can't tell you how many times it irks me to see people sitting in their cars with their seatbelt going across them, and they call that their professional LinkedIn picture. And I've also had recruiters say, oh, that's just bugs the bejeebies out of me. But again, it's really and truly about who you want to be when you grow up. And we thank you so much. We are really at the end of our time, but we want to thank you, everybody, so much for joining us here today with this workshop. Frank, thank you again for joining me, and I definitely appreciate it. And again, Frank is going to be doing another LinkedIn workshop, and that's going to be through the St. Charles County Library, correct, Frank?
Correct. It's going to be July 23rd at 2:00. Go to mylibrary.org and register, and you'll be able to get a live copy of the process.
Okay, and also this one should be available to you taped also at STLOUISCOWFD on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter sites. But if not, just reach out to me and I can just send you the link when it comes to me. Thank you so much, everybody. Once again, thank you, Frank. Have a wonderful weekend, and hopefully we'll get a chance to see you either here next week or Frank will get a chance to see you at his presentations. Thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you.